Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Wow, it's like intimate here. We're all like on one screen. All right, so let's get rocking and rolling. So I have a quote I wrote down that I want to share with everyone is winning is an attitude, champions repeat. Right, I'll say that again. Winning is an attitude, champions repeat. And I think about all of you as I read that quote, right? Because I believe anyone that shows up, invests in themselves, and is actually sitting here wants to win, right? That's an attitude, right? But when you think about champions repeat, it's like regardless of what happens, they repeat what they're doing and they keep going, right? So I was sharing on a coaching call earlier a story about Kobe Bryant. And when Michael Jordan faced Kobe Bryant when he was on the Washington Wizards, he hit a game winner in Kobe's face. And he says, no matter how much you want to be me, no matter how much you try to be me, you'll never be the real thing. Right. And they said after that, for the next 2 weeks, Kobe Bryant did not speak a single word to a single soul in practice. And they said the next time that he showed up and played Michael Jordan, they not only did they win, but he dropped 42 points on Mike in the first half. Right. So it's like this, there's a mixture between attitude and wanting to repeat what you do for success. Right. But then on the flip side, there's all of these things that get in our way. So today we're going to dive in our prospecting session into likely to sell. Do you know what likely to sells really are? And I'm going to put in the chat what it is first. They're free and fill in the blank. What are they? Free. And Elkin, if you're here, free leads. Anyone else? Leads? Insights? Opportunities? Opportunities. So if you're familiar, right, there are companies like SmartZip that they use their own algorithm and data and however they figure it out. And they tell you these are the most likely people we think are going to move. So therefore, we'll build out postcard campaigns for you to market to these homes, right? The difference between likely to sell recommendations and all of these other services that people pay for is the packaging, just packaged and marketed different. Your CRM is filled with free seller leads. The question is, are you going to reach out to them or somebody else first, right? So I'm going to pull up my CRM here. Just give me a second, and we're going to go through this. Oops. And if you have not, make sure you join Robert and I for our accountability session. Robert's going to hop on at 4. I'll be on 3:30, just kind of going through the technology. If you haven't uploaded the action plan, sent the bulk email, where the templates are and everything else. So it'll be a good interactive session. All right. So you guys can all see my CRM. Likely to sell recommendations. Every time you want to do this, think of the word leads. Now you hit view recommendations. Now look at all of these different opportunities. So my question is, you get here, there's all of this information, right? Now share in the chat, mind you, do not send me a direct message. It will show up on the screen. What holds you back from taking advantage of these opportunities? We have a small enough group today that we could have a really meaningful discussion with a lot of impact. What holds you back from taking advantage of these opportunities? Let's see what people are saying. Don't know what to say. Not sure what to send them. Time. Afraid to approach. I don't know who they are. Want to make sure I send the right message. Many are outside of New York City. I don't have any coming through. I'm telling you, you need to make sure that you have their full address in there. The more information you have for them, the more the artificial intelligence can work. What to say, being able to take off a business, not consistently checking these recommendations. Everyone is looking for listing inventory, and here's your opportunity. It's free, 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 free. What else do you guys have in this? Because this is the part we need to work through together. Anybody else? Okay. So let's start talking about some of these things, right? Number one, we are all afraid of what to say, right? So write this down. If you are not okay with losing, you will never win. If you're not okay with losing, you will never win. So you know what we're all afraid of? You want me to tell you? Julie, you know what? You know what you're afraid of getting? You're afraid of sending someone an email and it says, Julie, I have no interest in selling my home. I have no idea why you'd send me an email like this. Please take me off your list. And when you get that email and you open it on your phone, raise your hand because I'll be the first one to say it. Don't you get this weird feeling in your stomach? And then your chest tightens up a little bit. Then you start getting a little anxious. Then you start thinking of every message that you ever sent anyone. And all of a sudden you're in a state of catatonic shock and you're like, oh, fuck this. I'm never sending anyone an email again. Correct? I see Ian smile. Listen, everyone does this. And look, I think one of the things that would make our community a little different, like as the coach or person or whatever the heck everyone wants to label me to be, most coaches don't share their vulnerabilities. I'll share mine with you openly too, because I believe it's part of relationship building. I take every bit of feedback that anyone says personally, right? Because I always want to be better. And just like all of you, like when someone sends me something like, oh, that's really basic, I've heard it before. Like I feel that I know that feeling from being an agent and sharing that, right? There's some feedback my team won't even share with me because they don't even want me involved in the process of it. Because, you know, it's kind of, we all end up in like this rabbit hole, right? So the number one thing that we have to do is let's establish 3 things that every email is going to have. And would it be helpful if I gave you the exact response to give to these people when this email came so you don't have to be afraid anymore? All right, cool. So number one, you're going to make your email conversational, right? Number 2, you're going to add value. And number 3, you're going to leave them thinking. Homeowners gain $6 trillion. Hey, Julie, I was just at my financial planner reviewing my portfolio and the total overall amount of equity I have in it, which made me really think about this article that I wanted to share with you about how much money homeowners have gained in equity in 2022. My realization was there might be a lot of people just as interested in their home equity analysis as their financial portfolio. So if you or anyone you know would be interested, simply let me know. If not, I hope you're doing well. No need to respond. Have a great day. Julie, I don't know why you're sending me this information and everything else like that. Like I have no interest in selling my home. I don't even know how you got my information. Dear Shrag, I understand what you are saying. Start off by acknowledging what they say. I totally understand what you're saying. I got really excited to share this information as so many people have been excited to hear something positive. Again, my apologies. I will take you off my apologies. Again, my apologies. I will not email you again. I hope you are doing well, Julie. Can anyone really be pissed off about that? And if they are pissed off, this is what I call the asshole removal process, right? Like you can get rid of all, when you send these emails, like, and then you send a nice thing back, every asshole that's going to still want to combat with you, just get rid of them. You could delete them, you could block them and everything else. I think Brooke, you could paste the email in here, right? Brooke, yes, no? Okay. Brooke's like my real in-game operator. So between her and Alexa, they have this all buttoned up here for us. So you can thank them for this experience. Make it conversational, add value, and leave them thinking. I get an unsubscribe email from a happy birthday email. Well, if they unsubscribe, Did you send this as a newsletter? Because bulk emails don't have unsubscribe buttons. Everything you should send is in bulk email. I said to Robert, like, I really wish I could use bulk email in my business. It'd be so helpful. Sometimes having all those graphics and all that stuff in the email just kind of takes away from the message. Okay, perfect. Ian has a good example. He sends someone a happy birthday message and they replied unsubscribe. Is that a person you really want to put your time, money, energy, and resources into? Bye-bye. You can start playing like the music. Sha-na-na-na. Hey, 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 goodbye. So look, those are the three things that you need to do, right? Then you need to have this reply planned. So you don't have to be scared anymore. The other thing that you have to realize is you guys are salespeople. Someone is marketing to these people, and these things are free. So here's how you make a campaign, right? Number one, you have to plan out 4 emails. So is the spring market the best time to sell your home? Yes or no? Yes. Well, these days, anytime's good, but everyone likes the spring, right? Then you think about the next 3 months are the best 3 months. So I would send 4 emails, email 1, email 2, email 3, email 4. And then I would send them 1 email once a month for the next 3 months. And you need to plan all of these out. Plan them, write them, think about them. And what are you going to base this all on? General positive information. You're not asking for anything. Do not send an email. And in some cases, these things work, right? Like there's an agent they posted about in Workplace that sent a thing like it was like the market's up by this amount. And if you ever considered selling, like the guy was very direct. And in one of these 4 messages, I would highly encourage you to put a direct message. Did you know the majority of real estate agents have more buyers than inventory? Homeowners gain $6 trillion. People are working remotely everywhere. There are lots of interesting opportunities in the market today that were never presented before. If you think this is something you could take advantage of, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Jake. We'll go back in the recording and get that email for you guys. But this is just putting things together. So I would find things by setting Google alerts. Brooke, do we have the list of those Google alerts that Adriana said from the morning session? Can we just drop them in the chat? Yep, 1 email every week. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Understand people are going to say mean things to you. My favorite ones, like, I don't know how they got in my database. I don't know. They didn't appear there by accident. You've either interacted them or put them in your own. Either get rid of them or start marketing to them. Listen, this is a market for doers and people that are willing to lose. People that want to be uncomfortable, comfortable and live in their feelings of fear are going to be stuck. People that are not going to practice are going to get left behind. People that don't obsess about customer service are going to be missing out on an entire world. If you're not providing me a great service, why shouldn't I work on my own? As I share very openly, I am going to move out of my house in the next 12 months. And I will use a local real estate agent. As smart as I am as working with real estate agents, I know probably working with agents in 25 different states and probably 50 different markets. So I have to consistently know the data and resources and how most of the markets in the country Compass work. But I'm still using a local real estate agent because she adds a lot of value. Do you want to know what value she adds so you can add the same stuff? Values, right? Like, she's like, you know, that old website, Ask Jeeves, right? Like you could ask Jeeves and he'll tell him anything. I call it Ask Karen. Whether it's a vendor, the mill rate and taxes. I was at a car dealership the other day in Connecticut. You have to pay like a property tax on your car. I called her up. Hey, Karen, like, how does this really work? And she goes, oh, and then she gave me a breakdown. Hey, Karen, I need to bring my wife somewhere for our anniversary. Hey, Karen, I have a birthday coming up. Hey, Karen, where do I go to get flowers? Hey, Karen, where do I go to do this? And she's answered every single one of my questions. Hey, what's up with the mark? Like, and she consistently does that. She sends us gifts. And here's the most interesting part. Did I buy my house with Karen? No, I did not buy my house with Karen. Karen was my good friend. I didn't ever think I was moving here. So there was a very nice woman that took my wife out, that the two of them really liked each other. I didn't think I was moving here and ended up moving here. And I apologize to Karen for not using her, because if I was ever going to use a realtor, I would have used her. And she gave me a big hug and sent me a nice housewarming gift. Now that's integrity, right? But these articles are meant to add value. They're articles, right? Nothing more. So if you look at the topics, right, it's use quotation marks. If not, Google will look up anything that's related to the word US housing and market, real estate market in your normal area. So you also look at market. I think she said market trends too. I'll message her and we'll update a list, and we'll put it in our recap email at the end of the week. You want to, and for everyone that has stuff out of people out of the area, who cares? Don't we have agents in almost every different state and compass? Honestly, I would love to find referrals like this. That's like mailbox money. You don't even have to do any work. You just sent an email, you took a phone call, and you made a connection. Great, 25%. You should be looking to collect those all day long. So now that we've gone through this, where is everybody stuck? Google Alerts. We have the 3 frameworks of an email. We have our get out of jail free email. We know that if we do this for all of the people are going to be upset. Some people. Why would you ever think this, right? Think about it. You never asked anyone about selling their home. They're going to send you back a thing that says, I have no interest in selling my home. Jake, I completely understand that. I was really excited to share how much equity gained, and we just want to share the information with somebody. Again, my apologies for doing that. I totally understand why you felt the way that you did. Hope all is well, Jake. Is that really that bad of a scenario? That's the worst thing that could happen to you in this. Now think of all the things that you can gain. So let me go back to my screen here. Here are your recommendations, right? So you can open table view here, and you can see where they're from, the last sold price, the status, when it was generated, and your last contacted. So you can actually even click all these and tag them and group them. So and I've tagged all these seller leads. I can also group them. Now I've grouped and tagged all these leads. So now when I want to go to spring cleaning tips for selling your home. Now, this is the action from Robert and I's action plan today, right? So you could simply put this in. P.S. I have an additional service I can offer that can cover the upfront costs of making improvements to help maximize the value of your home when it comes time to sell. Filters, tags, seller leads. Apply filters. Oops. And they're all my contacts. Pretty simple, right? Amanda here is someone who was a sales manager at Compass. It's now an agent in Darien and a good friend of mine. And Amanda's likely to sell. And guess what? She just sold her house, which is pretty ironic, right? So look at all of this stuff. And this is a simple way to send this information, right? Do you think this spring cleaning tip thing is anything that's going to make anyone upset? No. So mix in messaging that makes sense. I wouldn't default to putting everyone just on whatever action plan is there. I would put a thought into 4 meaningful emails, right? As Gary Vee says, jab, 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 right hook. And if I was asking for listings, I would send an email that says, I'm going to apologize in advance. I have a surplus of humans and people and families that are relentlessly asking me for homes. So I'm sorry for reaching out of the blue, but by chance, if you know anyone who wants to, who's considering making a move, please let me know. It's interesting to know, a fun fact, as I shared in an earlier email, is homeowners gained over $6 trillion of equity. And we're finding people have so much more money in their home than they ever imagined in some cases. These are the kinds of things you can come up with. It does not have to be this, hi, this is Glenn from Compass, and this is a great time to move. The market has 4 fun, like, be human. Like, some people put typos in their emails on purpose because people will engage with, oh, did you know you had a typo? Oh, thank you so much. How are you doing? That is an actual marketing tactic. So are we clear on how to market to these people? Aaron, thumbs up. Okay, so who's actually going to do this? Lee and Darlene, that was priceless. He should be in trouble, Darlene. He just pointed at you. You should point the finger right back. If he's pointing at you, you're really the one that needs to do it. So look, if you think about this, and we went through this in our session on Monday, right? That whole aspect of you practice 15 minutes a day, 300 times a year, that's 75 hours, you're going to get better than everyone else. Think about if you really started marketing to these people, how much different your business would be over the course of a year. There are people who have 300 contacts here and they don't even know what to do. And then they show up and like, you get on a coaching call with them, like, I don't have any inventory. I don't know what to do. Give me something to do. How do I get inventory? I'm like, if I knew how to snap my fingers to get inventory, I'd be a billionaire right now. The reality is, you know how you get inventory? Being a champion and repeating what you do, coming with that attitude and being relentless in doing it. I hate using this example, but it's always a very relevant one. If you go back to the time when you're all in college and you went out and you're young and stuff like that, and you look at some of these sleazy people that would just make passes at people, make passes at people, make passes at people. It was amazing. Those people never ended up alone at the end of the night. And every night you'd be like, how the hell does this happen? It's because you just keep trying. You have to keep trying in this business. You cannot let rejection, fear, and a person that's probably having a bad day ruin your ability to make a living and help people. Have you ever, and I'll raise my hand, have you ever just been having a bad day and got a message that rubbed you the wrong way and fired back like an email, a message, or responding to a phone call, not your human self? We all have. That was funny, Darlene. Everyone does that. A lot of times when you have people write you those emails back, someone else is having a bad day. It's nothing to do with you. It's not like they said, Catherine, we reject you as a person. No, they rejected your service, which is fine. And understanding how to separate the two is the key in making progress here. So we have a few minutes before we end. Who has any questions? I can't stump all of you. So make sure you set it to Google Alerts. Utilize the bulk email. I'm going to suggest everyone, send this spring clutter email out in like 3 weeks to all your likely to sells. Yeah, I would use bulk email. Right? You have to understand there's a difference. Like if you have a really nice, pretty newsletter and you send it out once a month, it's packed with value. That's fine. You know, if you're just talking about 1 or 2 things, That makes sense too. Just realize when you write a newsletter that's this long, like you better be ready to provide value because you're asking someone to commit that much time. So if you look at our newsletter, they're long, but it's like information, click here for the nugget, information, click here for the nugget, information, click here for the script, right? We're trying to share a lot of valuable information that each section I tell my team needs an action item. If not, you just wasted somebody's time. Okay, so now here's the thing. I get a lot of emails from people that are like, hey, Chirag, it's like, that whole, why did I forget the name of the column, but, oh, dear Abby. I cannot answer everyone's emails, but if you post these things in our platform, that's the most likely way for me to be able to engage. And also the strength is our collective minds, right? Where you all need to help each other as well too. That's the strength of a community. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I know all of us together are smarter than me individually. So make sure that you stay on now and on board to our new platform. That's where all of the content